Marco had been working in construction for 15 years. He'd seen it all o'er, so he thought. Every morning, he'd walk past the safety posters in the break room without a second glance. Hard hat, check steel-toed boots. Obviously, he knew the rules by heart, and that confidence had become his biggest blind spot. On construction sites around the world, there's a risk that catches even the most experienced workers off guard. It's not the dramatic dangers you see in movies, the collapsing scaffolding or crane failures. It's something far more subtle, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. The risk of routine complacency. The day started like any other Tuesday. Marco's crew was working on a mid-rise apartment building, 4th floor. They'd been doing similar work for weeks, installing support beams, measuring, cutting, assembling. The repetition had created a dangerous rhythm. When you do something 100 times without incident, your brain starts taking shortcuts. Those safety checks that once felt crucial begin to feel like suggestions rather than requirements. That morning, Marco noticed the safety harness station was on the opposite side of the floor from where he needed to work. Just a few minutes of welding, he thought. The same task he'd done countless times before. Why waste 5 minutes walking across the site for a 30-second job? This is where the story takes its turn, not with what happened, but with what almost happened. A colleague, Sarah, had joined the crew just 3 weeks earlier. Fresh from safety certification courses, she still had that heightened awareness that experience sometimes dulls. She saw Marco preparing to work near the edge without his harness and spoke up. "Hey Marco, shouldn't you clip in first?" The question hung in the air. Marco felt a flash of annoyance. He'd been doing this since before Sarah was born. But something made him pause. Maybe it was the genuine concern in her voice. Or maybe it was remembering another worker from a different site. Someone who'd made the same calculation and wasn't there anymore. He walked across the floor, grabbed his harness, and took those crucial 5 minutes. Construction industry data tells us that complacency is a leading contributor to workplace incidents. When workers become too familiar with their environment, their perception of risk decreases even though the actual danger remains constant. It is a psychological phenomenon called risk homeostasis. We unconsciously adjust our behavior to maintain a constant level of perceived risk, often by taking more chances as we become more comfortable. The most insidious part, everyone thinks they understand this risk. Safety briefings mention it. Training videos address it. Workers nod along in meetings. But understanding intellectually and changing behavior are entirely different challenges. Marco's story represents thousands of near misses that happen daily on construction sites worldwide. The moments where luck, timing, or a colleague's intervention prevents a statistic from becoming reality. These stories rarely get told because nothing dramatic happened, and that is precisely why they're so important to share. The lesson isn't complicated, but it requires constant reinforcement. Experience should increase caution, not decrease it. The most dangerous phrase on any construction site is, "I've done this 1,000 times." Today's construction industry emphasizes psychological safety, creating environments where workers like Sarah can speak up without fear, and where veterans like Marco can acknowledge that their experience doesn't make them invincible. The risk everyone thought they understood turned out to be misunderstood in the most fundamental way. It's not about knowing what could go wrong. It's about maintaining respect for that knowledge every single day, regardless of how routine the task feels. Because the day you stop taking it seriously is often the day it matters most.